Happy New Year and welcome to 2025. Now that we've started this new year, I got to sit back and take a look at the laundry list of movies that I saw in 2024, and I boiled it down to my top 25 favorite films that I saw last year. All right, now I know what you're saying, 25 movies? That's probably everything you saw last year. Nah, I have no life, folks. All right, I saw well over 175 movies on the big screen alone. And let's get into it. All right, I'm going to tell you a little bit about each, what I liked, what I dug, why I think you should check it out. But I'm not going to go too deep. If you want to hear reviews of most of these, go back and watch my Movie Crumb miniature reviews on YouTube or go and listen to my podcast. It's called Movie Toast News and Reviews. But with no further delay, let me get into these films and let me tell you, this is not any specific order. I love all of these movies for different reasons. So first up, I have a movie called Strange Darling. This movie is really, really good. All right, there's twist turns. It zigs when you think it's gonna zag, and it is just unique and beautiful and something everyone should see, in my opinion. All right, up next, I have Robot Dreams. This movie is an animated movie, uh, and it's almost a silent film, and it will bring you to tears. It will make you laugh, and by God, I think this movie is gorgeous, story and visually. All right, up next, Dee Dee. This is a coming of age movie that takes place in 2008. So it's a nostalgia ride, and it is just kind of perfect. It's one of the best coming of age movies I've ever seen. All right, up next, I have Self Reliance. All right, this is a movie that is quirky, chock full of laughs. There's a whole bunch of cameos of fantastic comedic performers, and this movie is top notch. Then there's Immaculate, a movie that is similar to things that we've seen in the past, but it puts its own unique stank on it. And it shows and proves that Sydney Sweeney is a bona fide movie star who can do pretty much anything. All right, then we have Kneecap. This is a really unique and interesting biopic, loose biopic, about the Irish rap band Kneecap. And it's hilarious. It's unique and it's one of a kind. And it made me a fan of music that's not even fully spoken in English. All right. Then I have Ghostlight. This movie is so charming, delightful, and it brought a few tears to my eyes. All right. Then there is Wolves. I feel like nobody's really talking about this movie, and it's getting, well, it's not getting a sequel. It was gonna get a sequel, but a lot of stuff led to the writer director returning his payment for the sequel to Apple. Either way, check out this movie because it's a perfect one and done, in my opinion. Then I have Humanist Vampire Seeking Consensual Suicidal Person. This is a French Canadian vampire movie about a young vampire who's being forced out into the world by her parents because she doesn't want to kill and feed on humans, but she finds a loophole. She decides to feed off of a suicidal teenager, and the two become fast friends. This movie is charming and quirky and so funny and bloody and original. Everyone should check it out. Then I have Speak No Evil, the American remake. Now I know what you're thinking. The original is perfect. The original is good, but this movie is even better than that. It takes some liberties and changes up the third act for the better, I think. All right, up next, I have Heretic. First half of this movie, fantastic. Second half, a little off the rails, but overall, fantastic performances, great monologues, chilling as can be. You can't go wrong. Then I have Anora, Sean Baker's best film, in my opinion. And Mikey Madsen is giving a fantastic performance. This movie, will sit with you in the best ways. And it will also make you uncomfortable in the best ways. All right, then I have We Live in Time, a movie where Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield will send you on a roller coaster ride of emotions because there's ups, there's downs, there's laughs, there's cries. Awesome film. All right, then I have The Wild Robot. This looks like a water painting storybook come to life on the big screen that is heartwarming and beautiful and kind of sad at the same time. I didn't have expectations for this movie, and it blew me out of the water because it was that beautiful. All right, then I have The Substance. This takes body horror films to a whole nother stratosphere. And it will leave you off on the most what the fudge moment of any movie you've seen in quite some time, I'm willing to bet. All right, then I have the 4:30 movie. This is loosely based off Kevin Smith's childhood as he would hop from theater to theater sneaking into movies. This movie was made by a film lover for film lovers, shot in Kevin Smith's childhood theater that he just so happens to own. And this movie spoke to me like no other movies ever spoke to me. It opened my soul because I saw myself on the big screen for the very first time. And I know that sounds cheesy, but by God, I mean it. And this might be Kevin Smith's best movie. And a very subtle movie, unlike any of his others. All right, up next, I have Goodrich. Michael Keaton is giving one of his best performances. And Mila Kunis is a supporting actress who is nailing it. These two together are a romp, a delight. I loved it. All right, up next, I have Late Night with the Devil, a little movie that's so original, so unique, and it's scary and interesting. And it's so much wrapped into a little tight film. All right, then I have American Fiction, a movie that is poking satire at the current political landscape and at racism, and it's just unique, charming, interesting, and one of a kind, really. A lot of these movies have similar vibes, I'm realizing. Then I have Furiosa. This movie's long, but it's impactful. I'm not a giant Mad Max fan. I liked Fury Road, but I felt like it was a little repetitive, kind of meandering. But this movie was so much better than any of its predecessors. I saw it twice in theaters. That's how good it was. All right, then I have Smile 2. I enjoyed Smile, but this was a million times better. Yeah, there are some goofy things, but there's some really haunting jump scares. There's some mind bending moments. I loved it. All right, then I have The Order. This is about Jude Law as a grizzled cop who is taking on a group of white supremacists, and this movie looks beautiful, and it's just really fun. It feels like an old school type of movie to me. All right, up next, I have Sing Sing. This is a really unique movie. It's based on a real life event about incarcerated prisoners in Sing Sing prison who end up joining a theater group and putting on plays. And the cool thing here is it is shot in Sing Sing. There's inmates who this movie is based on acting as themselves in this film, and they're giving great performances. And Coleman Domingo is giving an award worthy performance, in my opinion. Up next, I have Standing on the Shoulders of Kitties, the Bubbles in the Shit Rockers story. This is a kind of spin off film from the world of the Trailer Park Boys. I was laughing hysterically nonstop, enjoying every second of this movie. Now, I enjoyed the Trailer Park Boys. I wasn't the number one fan, but this movie is the best thing they've ever done, I think. And I love Bubbles, so this hits hard. And my last movie of my top 25 favorite films of 2024 is The Book of Clarence. Back in the day, I went to Sunday school, where you learn the Catholic religion and the Bible, and I'm always like, oh, this is kind of boring. These stories. I want to know about funner stuff. There had to have been interesting things happening besides this, or how could there be a fun religious spin? And this movie is what I wanted so many years ago. It's takes place in, I want to say, Nazareth or wherever, uh back when Jesus was going around performing miracles. And there's a guy who's kind of a con man. He gets high, he drinks, he just kind of is a rapscallion. And he decides he's gonna pretend to be a prophet, and he thinks Jesus is a scam, so he wants to scam people around him, and people start to believe he's a prophet. This movie is it's a doozy. And Lakeith Stanfield, perfection. Everything about this movie, top notch. R.J. Ryder, Seiler, his sidekick, I'm forgetting his last name, phenomenal as well. So folks, these were movies that really stuck with me throughout the whole year. Whole different genres, but they all hold a special place in my heart. I don't know what is really coming out next year, but if we're getting anything half as good as the films that we got in 2024, I think we're in for a fun ride this year at the cinema. Um, if you haven't seen any of these movies, I highly suggest you check them out. Most are available on streaming platforms, not all yet, but most. And if you happen to like movie review podcasts, once again, I have one, and it's called Movie Toast News and Reviews. Please check it out. And please stay toasty.